Hello everyone, welcome back to the Midlife Budget. I hope you're all doing well and you're enjoying your Twixtmas and getting ready for 2026. In today's video, I am going to share with you my goals for 2026. I do have one main overarching goal, but I also have several things that I want to save for as well. So if you've followed me for a while and my previous incarnation with a different name, you'll know that in the early part of this year, I started off really well at the start of the year. We did a bit of a challenge, my husband and I, we'd got a bonus, and we were doing quite well. We're in a really good place. And then our boiler blew up. We had to have all our boiler replaced. We had to have our utility room stripped down to nothing and rebuilt back up again. We had more appliances or whatnot break than you could imagine. I've had to have my hob replaced twice. I had to have a new dishwasher, I had a new vacuum cleaner, and then another half of the vacuum cleaner replaced. I had a new lawnmower. Oh, it was a never-ending catalogue of things going wrong. And we seemed to limp along for the rest of 2025. It never really kind of got back where we needed to be. And we did have a holiday, which we funded through some of the savings challenges and sinking funds that we had. And to be honest, I have scraped through on the bones of my backside until to the end of this year. And I can see the light at the end of the tunnel as the year is coming to an end. But I have probably never finished a year with so little in my savings challenges and my savings binders, and it isn't a comfortable feeling. It's fantastic that apart from the money I used to fund half of the boiler work on my credit card, we have not used credit at all. We paid our credit card off in February, and then we only added to it in April to pay for half of the boiler. I think it was £3,500 that we paid. All the other work, all the utility room work and everything, and all of the appliance replacements we have funded. But I've got to the end of the year with very little money left. Haven't put, no money on credit for Christmas or anything, and it's not comfortable. It's not a comfortable feeling. So when I was thinking about my goals for 2026, I was thinking, how do I want to feel at this point in 2026? And I wanted to feel much more financially secure and comfortable, that should anything happen in April 2026 or in April 2027, that happened, well, it'd have to be April 2027, because if it happened in April 26, we'd be knackered, that I would be in a really great place. And I talk at the intro for my channel usually about saving and investing for a comfortable retirement, and I need to get started on that journey. We do invest quite a bit through our pensions. We make big additional contributions to our pensions, but I want to start on that sort of self-saving and investing outside of my pensions. So my big goal for this year is to end 2026, so sitting on the 31st of December 2026 with at least £10,000 in savings. That can be across emergency funds, savings challenges, sinking funds, whatever it is, that I have over £10,000 saved. If I added it up now, I'd probably have about 300 quid. So I am building most of that money in this year. So I'm going to take you through the different goals I've got. So I haven't got an absolute plan of how I'm going to get to that 10 grand, because some of it will be sinking funds building up and other things, but that is my overall goal. But let's have a look at the other things that I want to save for this year. And they are all in this fabulous binder from Budget with Ira that I got as part of my Secret Santa. I just love it. Okay, so we'll just move those over there slightly so I've got a bit more room, and move the plant over there. Okay, so I'm keeping this dashboard in that says Happy New Year, because a lot of the things I'm saving for are to have a happy new year, to have a great 2026, but also they are for starting 2027 as a happy new year. So I thought that was quite apt. Okay, so the first one is my emergency fund, and I do have a tracker for just about everything that I'm wanting to save for this year. So you'll notice that this one says 5,000. So my initial goal to save for my emergency fund this year was 3,500, and I think that's very doable. Bit of a stretch. 3,500 is 1 month of my salary, and I would like to save eventually 3, which will be 10.5 grand. So 5 is like half of that. Yeah, so that's a challenge. That's why I've got a 5 grand tracker, and I've had this one for a long time. But 3.5 I think is doable. 5 bit of a stretch. I've also got in here from the Budgeting Boy this little feeder challenge, which will save 100, because the smallest amount that I can sign off on my £5,000 challenge is 100 quid. So that's just feeding when I've got bits and bobs, or I do any reallocation. And then the second one I've got is home. So I don't have a challenge for this one because I'm going to put a big chunk into here, probably more than half of the money when I get my bonus in February. So I want £1,250 in home this year. So the majority of that is to finish the utility room. So I need to pay our friend, who we must have asked about 4 times how much we owe him, for the kind of joinery work he's done. He still hasn't come back with a figure. I need flooring in that utility and downstairs loo. I need a towel roll holder. I need a couple of lampshades. Did I say towel roll? You know what I mean? One of them rings you put your towel in, your hand towel. I need a little bit of woodwork on the built-in cupboard that we're going to add. I need skirting boards. Did I say I need a floor? So that's the majority of that money. We also need to do some work outside. So we have a very long drive. That's the block paving. So that needs to be jet washed and filled. I've got the sand to fill it, but the jet wash is broken. So I'm hoping I just need a part and not a new jet wash. We also need to fix our shed. That needs a new roof and some woodwork. As does the surround on our garage. We need to do a bit of painting on the front, and I also want to paint my kitchen units, which are already painted. They just need a bit of a revamp. So I've set myself a budget of £1,250 for home for the year. It's not a lot of money in materials I need outside of getting the utility floor and whatnot. It's just graft, really. So I think 1,250 should do it. And then we've got Christmas. So Christmas isn't Christmas. Christmas is something else. So I do want to save for Christmas, but I'm going to do it in a separate place. So I'm going to use my iris binder to save for Christmas. So I've had this for years. As you can see, I've had to stick all the vinyl back on the front. It's got monkey marks on it because I put some stickers on and then realised it looked naff. So I took them off. So I will save £1,000 in here. I've got a little feeder challenge as well. So we'll do that one. But my budget for Christmas is £2,000. Spent about £1,600 this year, which was more than enough for our dinner and all the gifts and everything, and Panto tickets that we bought last year. But I would like to do some activities, especially if we're going away. I'd like to sort of, go out and see my family and friends and what have you, and do a couple of things with my son. So I'm going to do that challenge for 1,000, and then I'm going to do these, which were part of my Queen Bee Makes Secret Santa, which are all Christmassy. I might need to add another 1 or 2, but £1,000 in a binder with all those challenges as well, which will be £2,000 for Christmas. And then this Christmas is our holiday for 2026, which is Christmas in Lanzarote. That is the plan, and I would need to do this 3 times. I would need £3,000, and that's with the free kids place. It's very popular and quite expensive. My husband, it was my husband who really wanted to do it. He's a bit like that now because the weather's been absolutely horrendous over this Christmas period. So that's that one. And then I have another challenge at the back, which I'm going to start on the first week of Jan, which is this 2026 challenge. And this is for all our spending money. So it saves £2,026. So I'll save that all year for our spending money for Lanzarote. And then we're on to girls' trip. So usually I go away with the girls for a week in Lanzarote. And the holiday itself doesn't cost that much. The flight and the accommodation's about 500 quid, but this year we're doing a cruise, which is much more expensive. I think it'll be a one-off. We just wanted the cruise experience. Normally towards my holiday and my husband's holiday, I save £1,000 each. This year I'm going to up it to 1,500. So I'm using this very old tracker. This is one of the first trackers that I bought when I started cash stuffing, and this is from Fuchsia Budgets, who has a completely different channel with a completely different name and a completely different focus now. But yeah, so that's £1,500. So that's my cruise. And then this one is for my husband's trip. Now, my husband is getting £500 of his money in January because he's away in January. And then the other 1,000 will pay for his 2027 trip. So I've got all year to save up for that one. Oh, and I'm stuck. Right, here we go. So this one, this challenge was from my Budget with Ira Secret Santa. And I'm going to try and do this one twice. And this is money for my son. So it's to pay for his prom and his outfit for his prom. His ticket, any transport, those kind of things. And it's also as a kind of a incentive reward for exams. I have a very bright child who doesn't like to do any work, so it was a bit of a financial incentive, and there should be some money left over from that, which we're going to put towards driving lessons because he's desperate to learn to drive at 17. My husband learned to drive at 17. I was about 23. I didn't learn until I had my second full-time job. I didn't really need it when I was a student. So yeah, so that's for my son. And then this one, again, is from the Budget with Ira. How cute is that? Secret Santa. So Budget with Ira, it's Secret Santa, this one. And this one is to save £480. And this is part of having that money sitting at the end of the year. So that I'm intending to add to our sinking funds or to start our 2027 challenges. I'm just trying to see whether it's a bit dark on this video. Oh, we're not so bad. We're not so bad. So yeah, so it'll either start 2027 or it'll go to sinking funds. But it's just to start the year with a little pot of money. So that's 480. So that's everything in there. I am doing another challenge as well, which is kind of towards that getting to 10 grand. And that is this monthly challenge that runs all year. I think this is from, I can't remember whether it's Budget with Them or Save with Them. I think that's who it's from. If it's not written on here, I forget, you know, I'm getting old. So January, February, March, April, May and June. And then I've got the other 6 in that envelope because otherwise it's too many envelopes. So I'm hoping that I will be able to save that money and have it sitting there for the end of the year. Maybe add it to my emergency fund or what have you, and it'll go towards that 10 grand challenge. Or rather that 10 grand goal. If I do need to use it to fund the things in here, then I will. But we'll see how we get on. Some of them are quite steep. I think there's 90 and 100. Some of them are smaller. I think we've got an 80, 80, 60 for January. So that is part of getting to 10 grand. Okay. I do have a couple of personal challenges. One is I want to be a fit, healthy and active older person. And I have found that now I'm 55, I'll be 56 next year, good old menopausal, I can't do the same intensity of exercise that I used to do. So I used to do a lot of running, and I have ran this year, but I'm finding it's much harder on my body, and my body takes a lot longer to recover and it can't do as much as it did. And that's just part of life, isn't it? So part of this year is getting active and mobile again, because I have had a couple of months off. Finding something that works for me. Also improving my diet. I will miss meals. I will grab a snack instead of a proper meal. When I travel with work, I eat absolute rubbish, because sometimes I find it quite difficult with having my celiac and things I can't eat. So yeah, I do need to improve my diet. So those are a couple of the things that I'm working on. as well as some kind of other goals around sort of connections with friends, certain things I want to try. One of the things I'm going to do is I bought some extra holidays this year, and I'm going to take one day a quarter and have a me day where I don't do any jobs in the house, I don't do any tasks, I spend the day doing the things that I would like. And one of those things I want to try is forest bathing. So I absolutely love trees. I love looking at trees. I love being in woodland. And I'm very lucky to actually live opposite woods. So I'm going to try forest bathing and do it at one of our local National Trust places. I can't do the January one because I'm away with work. So I'm hoping I'll be able to do that on one of my days. I might go for a coffee with my friend. I might go to the gym. Whatever I want to do, but it's just some time for me. So that's one of my goals for this year. Now, the last thing I want to take you through is the challenge that my husband and I have set ourselves for the start of 2026. So last year in the February, we did like a no spend February. So we got a bonus paid out at the end of Jan, but we held on to that and tried to save as much as we could in February to then add to our savings challenges and our goals and sinking funds and what have you, which is why we're in such a good position when the boiler went bang in April. So this year we're going to do something different. So this has been very much inspired by Lucy in the Sky Budgeting over on Instagram, who did a similar thing last August and has also done it again starting on Boxing Day. And this is to complete a 70-day money detox. Did I say 70-day? 75-day money detox. So, like you can do the 75-day hard or 75-day medium exercise challenge. This is a 75-day money detox challenge. So we've set ourselves some rules. So they are that my husband will not spend any money on food at work during that time, and I will not buy any extras when I'm travelling with work. Most of mine's covered with food, so it's more difficult for my husband, that challenge, because when I'm away he tends to just buy a sandwich, even though I've bought him food for him to eat when I'm away. We are not having any takeaways or any eating out unless it is planned ahead of time and forms part of our budget. So I have a meal with my brother on the 3rd of Jan, and we also, our friend's Christmas gift was to go out for a meal with them. So I've got that to do. That'll probably be February. Another rule is that we will only be doing one food shop per week. So no nipping to Marks and Spencer's for a cloud meringue and a couple of beers. I can shop at Marks and Spencer's, but that week I will do, I can do Marks and Spencer's and Asda, but I am only doing one food shop on one day. There's no top-up shops happening. We're going to cancel all unused subscriptions and allocate that money to savings instead. And there is going to be no impulse or unplanned last-minute spending. If it's not part of our budget or falls within the money we've allocated to a certain category, then it ain't getting spent. We're both going to spend 15 minutes a day reading or listening to a podcast related to self-development or finance. And then finally, we're going to look to sell 10 items. Now, you think 10 items, that's not very much. I don't have a lot of stuff. I don't have unused clothes or toys or electronics or anything like that. I have some camping gear. I have a necklace. I have some books that I might get rid of. I count the books as one. If I sent off a box of books, I'd count that as one. So yeah, sell 10 items. And then the whole point of that is to generate money every day that I can send to savings. So whether it's £1 or a fiver or 100 quid, every day I will be sending some money to savings. And what I'm going to do is every Tuesday I am going to do a YouTube video, which is going to be me reallocating that savings money that I have pulled together in that previous week across the savings challenges. And I have specific savings challenges to complete over the 75 days. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so the challenges I'm going to complete are in this orange binder and are in this tin, which I have had so many years. I think this tin's older than my dog, and he's 5 in January. So it's got £16 in it already. So that saves £1,275. It's like 1 to 50, like the 50 envelope challenge. So if I complete that, and then I complete all of the challenges in here. So some are my New Year challenges from Budget with Ira. Some are challenges I've already got. They're all quite small amounts. I think this one's 175 if every snowball's a £5. That's about the biggest one. I've got 150. I've got my Dice Baby, which I've already started. So I'll complete that one. I've got another dice challenge here. If I complete all of those challenges, at the end of the 75 days, I will have £2,540 to allocate to my savings. Now, there's only £400 of the income that I've got coming in from bonuses in January and February that I am directly putting into this challenge. Everything else I have to find the money for. So it is a bit of a stretch. It is going to be tough. And if I hit that 2.5, the biggest chunk of that will go to my emergency fund. I'll pay a little bit off my credit card, and then the rest will go to bump up my savings goals. So this, what's in this one, these savings goals, or to my sinking funds to get them funded for the year. So that is the plan. So that challenge runs from the 1st of January to the 16th, I'm writing shot, 1st of January to the 16th of March. So we'll see how much we can save in that time. So 75 days, it's quite long, isn't it, when you think about it? I tried 75 hard once, so I think I only got to day 15. It nearly killed us. That was in the summer this year. That was when I came back off the girls' holiday. It was June. I nearly died. So yes, so that is our goals for this year. I did say I wasn't going to ramble on for a long time, and I have rambled on for a long time. So do keep an eye out on the Midlife Budget on Instagram, where I will be posting a reel every, no, it's not a reel, is it? It's a story every day of my progress on that challenge. And then, as I say, every Tuesday, I am going to reallocate what I've saved that previous week into those 2 challenges, the binder and the tin. Okay, so any questions for me, do let me know in the comments below, and I will be back hopefully tomorrow with our budget with me for December. No, not for December, for January, because we're just waiting to find out what my husband's earned when his pay slip comes up. So do take care, and I shall speak to you all soon. Bye bye.